Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Rob. I'm your host, Rob. Super pumped for today's episode. It's a recipe that I've been eyeing for a little while. It's a little bit different this time. Usually I am showing you recipes that I've made several times. Today I have never made this. This is going to be brand new for me and brand new for you. We're taking it to the south for some southern hospitality. Today we will be making a vegan variation of jambalaya. Big fan favorite. I hope I really enjoy it. I have never tried it. I hope I really enjoy it. I have a feeling I will. I hope you really enjoy it, and I hope we have some fun. So before we get started, let's go through all of our ingredients that we're gonna need to make this vegan jambalaya today. Starting with 2 cups long grain white rice. Typically I'm a fan of the brown rice, but this recipe is calling for long grain white rice, so that's what I'm gonna go with on my first attempt. We're also gonna need a 14-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. We're gonna need a little bit of this can of kidney beans, not too much. This is gonna be like a substitute for our meat, give us some protein, so we're gonna need a little bit of kidney beans. We're going to need some vegetable stock. We're going to need half this green pepper, half a red pepper, an onion got tucked down here, 4 cloves of garlic. We'll need 1 celery stalk. Recipe calls for 20 button mushrooms. I might do this whole package. I like mushrooms. And then for spices, we're going to use cayenne pepper. We're gonna have some oregano, smoked paprika, thyme, basil, and bay leaves. And finally, jambalaya typically is made with shrimp and sausage, so I have found a plant-based sausage just for a little fun. It's not really needed. You could cook the recipe without it, but I like to try some different plant-based sausage versions, so I'm gonna give it a shot today and we'll see how it turns out. I'm gonna get a few things set up and then we'll get started. Start by dicing the onion. Get that top layer off. I like my onion pretty small. Ooh, this knife could use a sharpen. Once your onion is diced, get started on dicing your 4 cloves of garlic. Split that open there. Okay, I've got my onions and garlic all diced up. Now it says to add the onions and the garlic at the same time, but I like really soft onions and I don't want my garlic to burn. So I'm gonna get my onions going first and then add the garlic in a few minutes after I cut up some more veggies. Okay, while those onions are getting soft, I'm gonna get working on the next veggies that are gonna be added after the garlic. So starting with my single celery stalk, you can see I halved it there because I don't really like massive pieces of celery in stews, so I'm going a little bit smaller. Half a red pepper next. Here's my little red pepper chopping trick. Just cut the connections off at the top, reach in, pull out all the seeds. That usually gets most of them. So I'm only using half of this. Use more if you want, but I'm following the recipe very closely since it's my first time. Then I usually make adjustments after. And half a green pepper. The red, orange, and yellow pepper's bitter cousin. So bitter. Why are you so bitter, green pepper? Gotta love life. Life is beautiful. this colorful platter. First, I'm gonna add the garlic in, just let that cook with the onion, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And then the rest of the veggies will get added. And in go the rest of the veggies. All right, give those a couple minutes to soften up. And then next is our mushrooms. So let's get started on those. Okay, so I'm working on quartering these button mushrooms on nice little chunks. When you're making vegan recipes, the idea the mushrooms, usually if there's a lot of them involved, is that they're replacing the texture of meat. So you want them in the same kind of bite-sized pieces that you might find a sausage or a shrimp. That's what we're going for today, quartering these button mushrooms. Okay, so here the veggies are softening up. Get a nice slow cook going on. So what I'm gonna do is push them off to one side, created some space there on the bottom of the pan, and then add the mushrooms. Oops, lost one to the floor, that's okay. Add the mushrooms there in the open space, and just let them cook a little bit there on the bottom of the pan before we add the rest of the ingredients and get into our simmer, into our boil and simmer part of the stew. Okay, the veggies are nice and soft. They're looking good. It's time to add everything together. Check that out. Looking good. All right, so I've got my 14-ounce can crushed tomatoes. That's gonna go in. Then I've got my 4 cups vegetable stock. It's gonna go in. And I've got 2 cups uncooked long grain white rice. It's gonna go in. This is my spice mix. So just to recap what's in there, we have 1 teaspoon dried oregano, 1 teaspoon basil, 1 teaspoon thyme, 2 teaspoons smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon paprika, and a half teaspoon cayenne pepper. Get that in there. That's a lot of spices, wow. Interested to see how this is gonna turn out. Then, I'm gonna measure out here 1.5 cups of cooked kidney beans. So I'm just using kidney beans right out of the can. 1.5 cups. And then the last thing to add before we boil and simmer is the Tabasco and soy sauce. So 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Very good. This is really, really exciting. Look at this, my new Tabasco sauce. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm gonna use Tabasco for lunch. Oh, that's gonna take a while. Okay, so I'm gonna measure that out. I'm gonna take this lid off, measure that out. Come back for a second on cooking instructions. Okay, that took a bit of time getting all the Tabasco sauce in the measuring tablespoon. So it was 2 tablespoons of Tabasco sauce. I just threw in the last ingredient that gets added. That's 2 bay leaves. And we're gonna bring that to a boil. I'm gonna stir it all up to mix it all together. We're gonna bring that to a boil, then reduce the heat and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna go for 20 minutes. And at about the 10-minute mark, I'm gonna cut up those vegan sausages and throw them in. They're pre-cooked, they don't need to cook for very long, so we're really just heating them up. So bring that to a boil, then reduce to simmer, 20 minutes, and I'll see you when I'm throwing in the sausages. We're halfway through our simmer time, so I'm gonna add the veggie sausage. As you can see, I've got it nice and chopped into bite-sized pieces here. And check on my simmer. I've been stirring this, so this is important. Stir it every couple minutes. I did notice the simmer was a little bit high. I had a little bit sticking to the bottom. Now it looks like the simmer's died down a little bit too low, so I might push the heat up a little bit higher so I get some bubbles. And I'm just gonna add these sausages. Fake sausages. Vegan sausages, plant-based sausages.
You just like saying sausages.
I just like saying sausages. Stir those in. That's gonna give it a little bit more of a jambalaya feel, because when I think of jambalaya, I really think of sausages and shrimp. So we're gonna add that there, and then it looks like most of the liquid is absorbed, so I'll probably cook this for another 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Just check on the rice and make sure that the rice is cooked to your liking. Hey pumpkin, are you ready to eat?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, because the food is ready.
What's this random pumpkin?
Look at that. As they say in Seinfeld, jambalaya. I have taste tested a little bit to make sure that the rice is cooked. It's beautiful. Just what I'd hoped for. So let's serve it up and get ready to eat.
Yummy.
Well, thanks for coming by to another edition of Cooking with Rob. This one was vegan jambalaya. I'm really excited to go eat this now. So that means it's time for you to go. Bye-bye. See you next time.